take that as a yes.
What?
The ring.
The world remains in mourning after the death of Superman. Violence, acts of war, and terrorism are all on the rise.
I had a dream. It was the end of the world.
Invasion.
I think it's something more. Something darker.
We're asking people we don't know to risk their lives.
Strong man is strongest alone. You ever heard that? That's not a saying. That's the opposite of what the saying is. Divided. We are not enough. The world needs Superman. I made him a promise. This is why I brought you together.
Ride ain't over yet.
My man.
Awesome. As a bat signal, that's your... Oh, sorry. That's your signal. That means we have to go now.
Yeah, that's what that means.
It's so cool.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of any major corporation whatsoever.
Welcome to the Pope on Film. I am Bunny Williams, and with me is
Reverend Steve, the founder of the Church of Ed Woods, storyteller, father of 5, bipolar, PTSD sufferer, all-around nice guy, professional storyteller. And, hey, Bunny, I got a joke.
okay.
I got a joke about a ghost. Do you want to hear a joke about a ghost?
Let's hear a joke about a ghost.
Ah, that's the spirit.
Oh.
Bunny, you went missing in action last night, and you scared us half to death.
Yes.
Told you you were going to hear about it.
I was a bit surprised by that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How a bit surprised how?
By the reaction.
Okay. Well, you know who leaves the house without their phone?
Who?
Communists.
Oh, I'm kind of halfway there anyway.
Okay. So, keep your phone on you, okay? All right. So, Bunny,
Yes.
so things are happening for me
Good.
slowly, sure, but things are indeed happening. Uh, for example, I can neither confirm nor deny that I was in talks with a major publisher.
Okay.
I hope that a certain major corporation hears that and immediately starts sweating bullets. Not that I'm confirming or denying anything. I was in talks with a major book publisher about possibly publishing a children's book. So I don't think that's.
Yes, and that thing that you sent me, I will have that for you soon. It
Oh,
turned out
oh, oh,
I didn't have the software that I had used previously.
oh! It's
So,
okay. It's okay. I got the book and I wrote it out as a script instead,
yeah.
which is along the lines of what they wanted in terms of like a manuscript. So I actually don't need that anymore. So
Oh,
I
okay.
I learned that just like an hour or two ago. So no, we're good.
I might want to cartoon it.
Okay. All right.
It's short. And speaking of which, let me just run this by you. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Still keeping the same kind of cartoon, Steve,
Mm-hmm.
in your choice of clothes, but I can make you look like a Muppet.
Ooh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
It would be nice. I would like that. I would like maybe like a suit and tie, you
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
t-shirt, red tie. That's what I try and go for. And then tomorrow, the day after the taping of this episode, I have my first big live event.
Yeah.
Very excited about that. I'm doing 3 story times at Andy Alligator's Fun Park in Norman, Oklahoma. I'm excited and nervous for that. I'll be doing
Awesome.
3 story times, one at 10, one at 11, and one at noon.
Yeah.
We're going to be taping some of those for my YouTube page, my new Storytime with Mr. Steve YouTube page. So that's exciting. I am very close to finalizing a partnership with a big nonprofit in Norman, and I'm super excited about that because they actually have a headquarters in Norman that has a massive lecture hall that fits 150 people, and they want me to do a series of story times there. So I'm going to fill that up.
Huh.
Plus,
Cool.
I'll be getting
What
paid for that. So I'm very excited about that.
what have you done for all of this to come your way?
It, a a lot of some of it was some of it came my way from trending on Twitter. Some of it I worked for myself, like Andy Alligator's Fun Park. They hadn't heard of me,
Yeah.
but I heard that they were doing a Read Across America event for Dr. Seuss's birthday. So I asked them if they were interested in having me as a storyteller, and they just jumped at the idea. So that one was
Nice.
me. And then the nonprofit that I'm close to finalizing a partnership with, they're going to be paying me and everything. The person who started this big nonprofit with a headquarters and everything, he would bring his kids to Storytime.
Nice.
So that one just kind of fell into my lap. So I'll be getting paid for that. Also, one thing I can confirm is that after my Andy Alligator event, then I'm doing a private birthday party in March, and then in April I'm going to be doing story time for a special fundraiser for the Norman Police Department.
Nice.
Very excited for that. They're going to be having like a fundraiser, and they're going to be 2 activities. One at night, and it's going to be more of a ball, and then one during the day, and it's going to be a special thing with kids, and they're going to be at a high school, and there's going to be entertainment and rides and stuff, and I will be there doing story time, so that's good. And I'm in very early talks to maybe do some story times for libraries all over Oklahoma this summer. So things are happening.
Nice.
It's just very, 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 very slow going. Plus, some exciting things happened today. I got the official Storytime with Mr. Steve website up and running.
Nice. Okay.
It is MrSteveStorytimes.com. Very excited about that. I have a Patreon.
Okay. I was meaning to mention that to you.
Yeah, and I already have one person who is I don't know, subscribed or whatever you want to call it. I have one donator. I don't know. A
One patron.
Yeah, one patron. There you go.
Officially. Yeah.
So that's exciting. That went live a few hours ago, and I have different tiers of how much you can donate to me, and some of the things that you get
Yeah.
for donating to my Patreon are insane. For example, I think if you're on level 3, then one of the special things you get is that I will write your name down, and then at the next full moon, I will head to the woods and whisper your name into the breeze.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. You're going to want that to happen. You're going to want to get to that level where I'm going into the woods and whispering your name into the breeze. Very excited about that. I believe at the 4th level, either myself or my wife will draw whatever you want. Very excited about that. Whatever you want us to draw, we will draw it. And specifically on the Patreon, on my Patreon page, I listed that either Mr. Steve or Mr. Steve's wife, Mrs. Mr. Steve. I was very proud of that. Yeah. Mr. Steve. So I was very proud of that. So anyway, that's patreon.com/storytime with Mr. Steve. I believe that one is. And then my wife is working really hard on getting me some other things. There's an Instagram and there's a Twitter. And
well, have you gotten a Gmail account?
I've got Mr. Steve Storytime email now. So you can email Mr. Steve. Also on the website.
Okay, from where though?
I believe it's from Gmail.
You believe it's from Gmail? Okay. Well, even if it's not for Gmail, make a Gmail account so you can get a Google Drive for story time, and maybe we could figure out prizes or something like that to put up there.
Oh, that would be awesome. Okay. And then what else? There's so many things happening right now. My wife is being amazing, helping me out with all of this sort of thing. Oh, also on the website.
Yeah.
MrSteveStorytimes.com, you can book me.
Okay. Nice. Excellent. Yeah.
There. You can see my calendar of events and all of that sort of stuff. So things are happening. It's just taking a while. It's slow going, you know?
Yeah.
It's taking a lot of time and a lot of emails and a lot of important phone calls that I'm trying to be comfortable with and stuff. It takes time and a lot of time. And while I wait for the pieces to click together and deals to solidify and all that sort of thing, I once again find myself being a stay-at-home father.
Yeah.
A job that I'm being painfully serious here. A job that is a million bajillion times harder than any job I have ever had.
Yeah.
For reals. Being a stay-at-home parent is both the best and worst job imaginable. Yep. Staying at home, cleaning, taking care of the kids, running errands. I got to pick this person up at this specific time, take them over here. Emerald and Amber both work. And constantly watching Clifford.
Yeah.
Very not excited about that. It's mind numbing, and it's all exacerbated by the fact that pretty much this entire family just got done with being sick with the gunk.
The gunk.
Yeah, for the past week or two, the gunk. Like after a convention, like you go to a con.
Yeah. Afterwards,
you get sick because you realize you were in a like convention center with 300,000 people, and a bunch of them were really, really sick.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to note that when I transferred from California to Oklahoma and single-handedly revitalized their Storytime program, all I can say is that you're welcome. Yeah. They bumped me to part-time, so I I was 40 hours a week in California, and then when I went to Oklahoma, I went down from 32 to 32 hours a week, and then 24 hours a week. Sometimes I'd be 36 to 38 hours a week if they were really hurting. Then in 2014, the store was hurting bad, so much so that they bumped me down to 12 to 24 hours a week.
Ooh.
Yeah, like I was barely working. So my wife got a job and I was a stay-at-home dad for like most of 2014 until 2015 when the children's department became available.
Yeah.
And hey, shout out to my co-kids lead Delilah from 2015. And while I'm at it, shout out to Balthazar, the dragon protector. She got tattoos on her face when she went crazy. Yes, Maxwell, my son, whom I love. You have to say two things. Okay. What things?
Okay. The first thing is you want to see the comic books that I'm making, and I'm not going to paint it. If you want to see the picture that I made, Emerald will paint it.
So you're getting Emerald to paint a comic book for you.
No, I'm making the comic book. He's painting the picture. He's painting to see the pages, but in painting.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's number one. Yeah. What? Shout out to who?
He's got shout outs?
For
Wait. Shout out to what?
The Eagle Knight from the Eagle Castle for slaying a demon dragon.
So a shout out to the Eagle Knights from the Eagle Castle.
Yes.
They just hang out in their Eagle Castle and listen to Hotel California.
No. They look out for the trouble so they can slay the trouble.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Of New York.
Oh, so the Eagle Castle is in New York. Well, that's some prime real estate there. That's going to cost them a lot. I hope they have secondary means of income.
They can build it by hand.
Okay, gotcha.
I hear Jared Kushner's got a place he's looking to unload.
Yeah. Thank you, Maxwell, for the Eagle Castle. I've learned so much about the Eagle Castle. So basically, we find ourselves in the same situation right now. Once again, this behemoth corporation has screwed me over. And once again, I'm trying to completely change the way that I live my life. Not easy, but stay positive. Once again, it's all about the polls. Now, in a related story, last week on the podcast, I got a bit too sentimental. 2 weeks ago, we did like the reaction episode and recorded it. We recorded it a mere 3 days after I was fired.
Yeah.
So so I had more time last week to really think about things and think about what's important in my life. And I got a little emotional.
Yeah.
I was pouring out my heart and soul a few times. And so a few tears may or may not have been shed a few times last week. Very emotional. Mm-hmm. Well, it's a new week, Bunny. New week, new chances, new opportunities. And so this week I will not be professing my undying love for you, Bunny. In fact, just the opposite. Fuck you both. Fuck you, Bunny. Fuck you, Jeannie. From the bottom of my heart, though. Fuck you. Just the opposite of last week. And I feel that since we've done both sides of the spectrum, that should even it out, you know?
That should.
Yeah.
Should even it out nicely.
Yeah. So Bunny.
Yes.
The next thing I will be going into right now will no doubt become the single most popular track in the history of the Pope on Film podcast. Now, as you may well know,
well, and in famous, okay, let's just run that down a little bit. We have beat bugs at number one. That's going to be hard to beat, and I'm sure we're pissing off a lot of mothers with that one. Hi, moms. Then down second after that is Jim Carrey.
yeah, and it's a short one too.
A fucking bit that we did about Jim Carrey, and it shot up there like out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was weird.
You know, because for the longest time it was like, oh, whatever. I can't recall. Then it's MF Doom that came out of nowhere.
He's amazing because he's amazing is why, and people probably think it's a track.
And Childish Gambino and Lego Batman keep battling it out.
Yeah, Lego Batman, I believe, is being is battling it out with Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Walk Hard dropped off, unfortunately.
well,
MF
Bunny.
Doom knocked it off.
Oh yeah, okay. well, Bunny, as you may well know, yes. I have a lot of free time on my hands lately.
Yes,
obviously, but my free time is considerably less painful because my computer is back. So, yay!
After how long?
Computer got fixed. Well, this is how it happened. There's this place that we've gone to in town, and it fixes electronics. It's connected to the video store. We have a video store.
Yeah.
Town to show you just how small of a town I live in. We have a video store. So they have fixed things for us before, but it's just really super expensive. It actually just costs $60 just for them to take a look at it.
Oh yeah.
And then you have to pay for the parts, and then pay for like what is it, the actual fixing of it, and it was going to be really expensive. So my wife just said no.
Yeah.
Let me see. So what's the problem? And I explained to her the problem. And she said, you know what? Let me just take a look at it. And so she took the computer, and the door closed, and she just stayed in the bedroom for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
So eventually, like, I come knocking on the door, and I come in, and apparently for the 5 hours, she had just been watching YouTube videos of how to fix laptops.
Oh, there are some good ones sometimes, and it never hurts to try a search on your exact model number, which really makes things even easier.
Yeah. So my wife just said, it's like, okay, I'm going to order like a part or two off of Amazon, and I'm going to go to the store, buy a tiny set of like screws and stuff. And I think I got this.
Yeah.
And so it took her like 2 or 3 days. And my wife fixed my computer. My wife rocks. She fixed the computer. The entire fix cost less than $30.
Awesome.
Yeah, she fixed it herself, and she's amazing. So now I can do a bajillion things that I couldn't before. So I fixed my Church of Ed Wood shop on Cafe Press. I even added a few more like items on it. I posted on my blog.
Yeah?
Crazy. I even removed the tags from the left side of the blog because they would no doubt incriminate me. That made me feel a lot better. And I've been listening to a lot of our podcast. In fact, I have a lot more time to focus on the podcast. So I want our show to be big.
Yeah.
So what I did was, this will be fun, Bunny. I wrote down the biggest tracks of ours on SoundCloud, and I put them in this handy list. So in an effort to try and gain the most SoundCloud kicks, I will now be mentioning all of our biggest tracks in one little bit of dialogue here. Okay. Right now, in the hopes that This will garner some clicks. Hey, Bunny.
What?
Now let's do a bit of news smatterings here. Did you see the news? There's a bizarre video out there. Really weird. It's all over social media. It's a weird video. It's Misha Collins and Jim Carrey. Okay.
You're kidding.
Yeah, and they're together sitting on the couch watching the Minions movie.
Okay.
Here's the weird part. I haven't even mentioned the weird part. Not just that Misha Collins from Supernatural and Jim Carrey from Jim Carrey's couch are watching the Minions movie together, but they're dressed as characters from Glitter Force. Really weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the weird thing, too, is that
is this on Pornhub?
It's all over the place. It's all over the place. Not only are they watching the Minions movie, but it's kind of annoying because there's music playing in the background. I'm not sure if the music comes from MF Doom or Beatbugs because those two are so similar.
Yeah.
You know? Hell, it could be Childish Gambino for all I know. But when you think of music, you usually think, what is this song? Is it MF Doom, Childish Gambino, or a 5-year-old bug singing Yesterday? It's difficult to tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's music playing in the background, and personally, I think. So Misha Collins and Jim Carrey are sitting on the couch dressed as Glitter Force characters, watching the Minions movie, while either MF Doom, the Beatbugs, or Childish Gambino music plays in the background. And then the movie ends, and they're get into a fight, Misha Collins and Jim Carrey, over what movie they should watch next. Jim wants to watch Deep Throat, but Misha Collins wants to watch God's Not Dead. Yeah, it's weird. Personally, I think they should just watch the Lego Batman movie. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is fuck Trump.
Yes.
What are you trying to get at?
What I'm trying to get at here is fuck Trump. I think that's the real important part of this whole story.
That just sums it up.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That sums it up. That is just America today.
Yeah. Well then, Bunny.
Yes.
It is time once again for us to go against the grain. Ooh, somebody's computer starting.
Mine.
Yes, Jeannie is booting.
No, Maxwell, there is no special guest right now. You get that special guest out of here. It's starting a bit. It is time once again for us to go against the grain, take the road less traveled, and piss off strangers on the internet with yet another rage-inflicting installment of Steve's Unpopular Opinions.
Okay.
And this
we
week,
haven't had
Bunny,
one of these in a really long time.
I know. And this week, Bunny, this week may very well be one of the, if not the, top unpopular opinion of all time.
Oh, okay.
The single most unpopular opinion we have ever discussed. I cannot stress enough how big this is going to be. Riots, Bunny!
Riots.
Will be breaking out all over this nation, like acne on a teenager's face or hair on a Latina's back. Shout out to Auntie Lori. Society may crumble, houses may burn, life will be forever split into two different time periods. The time before Steve's Unpopular Opinions and the time after Steve's Unpopular Opinions. In fact, I don't even know if I should mention this.
Oh, do it.
Because once I drop this bombshell, guys, media circus.
Media circus, yeah. You think that's
going to be a media circus?
We need a circus.
We have a circus.
But I am a professional.
I have monkeys. I need a circus, okay? Damn it.
That's a good point. Anyway, I'm a professional. We are professionals. So let's just do this, okay?
Okay.
Let's do this. Okay?
All right.
Okay. Dramatic sigh.
Dramatic sigh.
So there's a great list of movies coming out in 2018 because it's important to note that we're in the beginning of 2018. We've got some really good movies that are coming out this year. Big movies that we have to look forward to, including but not limited to Incredibles 2,
Uh-huh.
Pacific Rim Uprising, which I wasn't excited about, but the previews do look really, really good, and I really like that world. Maxwell, when he was younger, he would ask to watch the robot movie.
Yeah.
And he was like, Daddy, I watch robot movie, and I'd have to put on Pacific Rim, and we would watch it together. It was adorable. There's a big budget Venom movie coming out this year.
Oh,
Really?
commercial.
Yeah, there's a preview for it, but people got pissed at the preview because they don't show Venom.
Yeah.
They show like a symbiote moving around in like a jar, but they don't show Venom. But like the movie's coming out in like November, they're not going to show Venom now.
That's exactly when I stopped collecting comic books.
Really? I love
Right
Venom.
there. Right there. Like my last issue of Amazing Spider-Man. He comes into his apartment, he takes off the black outfit and he throws it over a chair. And he kind of winds up the story with, some little what I've learned today. And in the background, the suit was twitching.
Yeah. That was during that period in time, I think, when in order to make more money off of the comic book, suddenly everything became like a collector's item.
Yes.
Oh, get your polybagged foil edition hologram special limited edition version of issue 437 of Cable.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's only $12.99. Like, no, screw you. So Venom movie, excited about Venom. Wes Anderson's new stop motion animated film Isle of Dogs, which looks amazing.
Yeah.
Very excited about that. His last stop motion animated movie, Fantastic Mr. Fox, is amazing.
I have not seen that. I heard about
It's really good. It's really, really good.
it. Yeah.
It's weird because a song from Disney's Robin Hood plays in the movie, which is weird because this is not a Disney movie.
Yeah.
But it's odd. It's like if the Three Caballeros was in Get Out. It's like, why is the Three Caballeros playing in Get Out? This isn't even a Disney film. It's weird. Ready Player One, which I have reservations about.
Yeah, I'm a little leery by that name right off the bat.
I'm weary about it only because I was a big fan of the book. The book references everything.
Yeah.
But the movie is being directed by Steven Spielberg, and what that says to me is, okay,
He's going to sanitize it.
Yeah. The Emerald's still here? Okay. No, the thing is that now it's going to be heavy on Steven Spielberg references.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of the book was when they are going to attack the castle, and all of the main characters decide to get a different famous giant robot.
Okay.
And so one of the characters has the robot from the old cartoon Gigantor.
Yeah, I loved Gigantor when I was a kid.
Yeah, and then another character has the robot from that animated movie. Steven Spielberg directed it.
Iron Giant?
The Iron Giant, and there's all these different the robot from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
The Iron Giant will make you cry, honey. It would.
And then I think one of them has one of the robots from Pacific Rim. But then our character, our hero, gets Mechagodzilla.
Ah.
And it was like the coolest scene in the world. One of the characters has Mechagodzilla, but what he gets is a Leopardon, the Japanese robot that Japanese Spider-Man uses.
Oh.
And I wasn't even aware of Japanese Spider-Man until this book, and I went and searched out the Japanese Spider-Man TV show, which is so weird. But now Steven Spielberg's directing it, so of course the only robot you see is the Iron Giant.
Yeah.
And the Iron Giant's all over the previews, and it's like, wait, is the entire movie going to be like this? I was excited about the book because the book references everything, but something tells me that, yeah, I'm not going to be seeing my favorite scenes in this movie. I'm not going to see Monty Python and the Holy Grail being an important part about saving humanity. I'm not going to see a bunch of Godzilla references. I'm not going to be seeing people quote Matthew Broderick movies.
And that's really like when it's kind of like, what's the point? What are you trying to do here exactly with this fucking movie? Because I would imagine that the parts that you love would basically be the parts that any of the fan of the book would pick, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's fair. If you're a fan of the book, these are the parts that you would tend to like.
Yeah.
So if you cut all that out, you're not making the movie for the fans at all.
Yeah. I feel that a lot of the references will be put aside because they can't get them, and they'll just pick happy, easy references and heavy on Spielberg references because Spielberg's directing it. So there's going to be a bunch of Spielberg references, and it's just, yes, Maxwell, in the middle of a really good thing going here. Yes, Maxwell, what do you need? No special guest right now. I'm in the middle of Steve's unpopular. I haven't even gotten to my unpopular opinion yet. Super Troopers 2 is coming out this year.
Yeah.
Shooting for that. My wife eventually had to force me to watch the first Super Troopers, and it's pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
It's
I just wasn't a fan of Reno 911, you know?
I was a big fan of Reno 911, but then they made a Reno 911 movie, and that sucked ass, and I hated that.
Yeah.
But I found the Super Troopers movie to be the film that I would have wanted Reno 911 to do instead of the shitty movie they did do. So Avengers Infinity Wars, which is now coming out 1 week early, they just bumped the release date ahead.
That's coming out this year?
Yeah. They split the last two Avengers movies in half. So Avengers Infinity War is coming out this summer, and then next summer, the next Avengers movie, which doesn't have a title yet, is coming out. So it's kind of two parts, but part one is coming out next month now because it's been moved up a week.
Next month. Wow. Okay.
Deadpool 2 is coming out. Very excited about that. Ocean's 8, which looks really good.
Ocean's 8? They're going backwards, man. They can't do that shit.
No, this is all women.
Okay.
And it looks really, really good. It's got like Sandra Bullock and a bunch of other females. It looks really good. I saw the preview recently, and it looks really funny. Just blanking out. I wasn't expecting to talk about Ocean's 8.
But that casting right off the bat sounds kind of like pin the Botox on the has-been. You know?
Anne Hathaway plays herself. That's the person they're trying to rob.
Ah, okay.
What's her name from that was in all those Tim Burton movies, and she was in Harry Potter, and then they kicked her out.
Oh, Helen Bonham Carter.
Yes, she's one of the 8.
Uh-huh.
And that foreign woman who was in the Mindy Project, she was on The Office.
Didn't watch either of those.
Yeah, she's in it. I don't remember any of the other ones, but they're all big names.
Yeah.
Solo, the Han Solo film, which I will go to the theaters and watch maybe like 5 times, only because Donald Glover, a.k.a. Childish Gambino, is playing Lando Calrissian, and I'm super excited about that.
Yes.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. I really liked that Ant-Man movie. I really liked that Ant-Man movie.
Ant-Man was fun.
Yeah, and I'm feeling that people forgot about that, but it's a damn
And
good movie.
they did. You know, uh, it, Ant-Man is not important.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? And sometimes I could use a good dose of not important.
yeah. And at the end of the year, let's not forget this: a Spider-Man animated movie featuring Miles Morales.
Ah,
Be huge, and I'm very excited about that. And a big
okay.
one coming out this year, a big movie coming out this year, Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet. I'm very excited about this Wreck-It Ralph 2 from Disney. I loved the first Wreck-It Ralph. There's a personal connection there for me.
Yeah.
My store in California, well, I was there right before I transferred. My store in California was looking to get rid of its highest paid employees without firing anyone.
Yeah.
Like they weren't allowed to fire people, but they also wanted to get rid of people because the hours were so bad. So they immediately started writing up and just trashing all of their highest paid employees, and I was repeatedly attacked, oftentimes for no reason. I felt hated and despised.
Yes.
But Wreck-It Ralph moved me, specifically the end. There's one scene where Ralph is the end, the last scene in the movie. He's talking about how the girl that he befriended is you know, this young little girl that he became friends with.
No,
He says, like,
I thought it was when Wreck-It Ralph had to shoot his dog.
no, he's the last line in the movie. He says, "If that little girl likes me, then how bad can I possibly be?"
Yeah.
And that line really meant a lot to me because it's like, okay, well, work hates me and managers are writing me up for like the stupidest things. My glasses broke at work and I got written up because I wasn't carrying a second pair of glasses on me at all times.
Oh.
Glasses keeps a second pair of glasses in case the first one breaks, you know?
Yeah.
Not my fault. It's an extenuating freaking circumstance. So, like,
What did they hire Burgess Meredith?
so people hated me at work, but I just kept thinking, like, if my kids like me and if the kids who I do story time for, if they like me, then I can't be as bad as these freaking people in the store think I am.
Yeah.
So now there's a second one, Wreck-It Ralph 2, where old Mr. Litwack, who owns the arcade, he finally gets the internet. And he gets one of those, the preview just came out, he gets one of those old neon Apple iMacs that white people in Brooklyn are now turning into fish tanks.
Yeah.
You remember those computers?
The really colorful ones.
Yeah, and they were like as deep as a television.
Yeah, and it was completely one solid unit.
Yeah, yeah. So he gets one of those old neon Apple iMacs. So Ralph and his BFF, Vanellope von Schweetz, they take a trip into the internet, right?
Uh-huh.
So the preview is like the number one video on YouTube right now, and people are going nuts, and it looks hilarious, and I'm seeing memes for it. So I saw the preview. I was so super excited. Most people are just geeking out over this.
Yeah.
Well, I'm geeking out over this. I think a lot more people are geeking out over The Incredibles 2, but to me,
is that happening?
Yeah, that's happening this year. There's previews for it. It looks really, really good. You know what it looks like? It looks like a superhero remake of Mr. Mom.
Okay.
Because superheroes are still illegal, but here comes this big billionaire, and this big billionaire goes to Mr. Incredible and he says, "Hey, I have a problem, and I need the most important, the most powerful superhero of all time. So, Mr. Incredible, I need you to get me Elastigirl." So Elastigirl's like,
hurts.
I'm gonna go save the world, honey. Bye. And the dad, who was used to being the most powerful superhero on Earth, is like, okay, I'll just stay at home and take care of the kids. So basically it's just Mr. Mom in the superhero universe.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that because Mr. Mom was an amazing movie. Maxwell, get off the door. Get off the door. Get off the door. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Bunny. Here's the unpopular opinion. I saw the preview for Wreck-It Ralph 2. Ralph Breaks the Internet. Saw it a number of times. I showed all the kids. I showed it to Maxwell. I showed it to Bella. I showed it to Emerald. I showed it to Natasha. And Ralph and Vanellope are traveling the internet. It looked familiar.
Like something we might have seen very recently?
Call me crazy. Maybe it's because we recently saw a specific movie.
Uh-huh.
And I watched it a couple of times and wrote down a bunch of notes about it, went into great deal about this film. But call me crazy. I might be the only person on the planet saying this.
Okay.
But the internet's going nuts over Wreck-It Ralph 2, and I'm like, I've already seen this.
Uh-huh.
Oh, look, they're traveling from YouTube to eBay. Oh, look, they're playing games on the internet. I have seen this before.
Yes. Uh-huh. And all those people hated it.
I'm sorry, but Wreck-It Ralph 2 just looks like a bigger budget emoji movie.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
That's all this is. That's all this is. The emoji movie did it first.
That's funny. I was thinking though, after talking about the emoji movie, I think what we should do going forward is if people start talking smack on the internet, you know, like about the emoji movie, that's the worst movie in the world and things like that, we do a Pope on Film challenge.
Ooh.
Okay, you think the emoji movie is the worst movie ever made? Okay. Let's see you get through this one. And send them Begotten.
But yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm still going to watch Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet. But maybe everyone on the internet and all of these Disney fanboys and fangirls and fan people should just calm their ass down because this film already came out.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but when history has to judge which internet movie is the best, I think that a few extra points has to go to whichever one of these films more prominently features pen, pineapple, apple, pen. I'm sorry, but Advantage Emoji Movie.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big Pico Taro fan. That's the guy's name.
Is that his name?
Yeah, Pico Taro.
Taro Pico.
So, Bunny, we still have a lot more to cover. We've got a really good and fairly disgusting Steve's Historical Approximations.
Okay.
Very excited about
disgusting
that.
Is great.
Yeah, it's fairly disgusting. We have to talk about the batshit crazy Quincy Jones interview for homework.
Yes.
Man is insane. We also have to talk about Entourage and Steve Garvey and Captain Kirk and Thor Ragnarok and Weird Al Yankovic and Deep Purple.
Uh-huh.
We need to talk about Steve Garvey. I mentioned Steve Garvey. And so much more. Batista. But before we get to that, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break?
We should take a break.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with you. We should take a break. We will be right back with more of the Pope on Film after these commercial messages. Do 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 skitty boppa doo wow.
Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist. Once Bob grows up.
Go here, boop, podcast.
Can you step on it? It's getting late. I'm sorry, I'm so anxious. It's just tonight.
We're gonna be okay. Just like always. Whoa.
No. Nick, this can't be happening. No one's gonna help us tonight.
This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge. At the siren, all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 hours. All emergency services will be suspended. Your government thanks you for your participation.
Oh my gosh.
Just remember all the good the purge does.
And we're back with more of the Pope on Film. Buddy!
Yes.
If you're a longtime listener of this podcast, then you know two things. First and foremost, my kids suck. And two, that I am a lover of history. I am a regular historiacalinarianist.
Uh-huh.
It's a technical term. I'm a
I
storyteller.
was just saying that yesterday.
Yeah. I'm a storyteller too, with my own unique style and voice. And what I like to do is occasionally get a story from history and rework it into my own unique voice. And that's what this is, another installment of our long-running feature, Steve's Historical Approximations. This is a new reoccurring bit for the podcast. What was the reoccurring bit that was in this position last week on the podcast? The answer to that is, shut your damn mouth! Is what was here last week. I'm sorry, I'm just still very bitter.
Yes.
And once again, I would like to explain, this is a 100% accurate piece of history that has been slightly reworded into my own voice, and as such, it isn't 110% accurate, but it's not a lie. It's more like 92 to 96% accurate. Yeah. And this week, we will be discussing the discovery of an element on the periodic table and how the discovery has to do with massive amounts of priest urine. Boom! Priest urine! Like ridiculous amounts.
You can get that over the counter now.
Yeah, nowadays. Mm-hmm. So it's the 1660s in Germany.
Okay.
That was such a long time ago that they didn't even have iPhones back then.
No.
Can you believe that? Everybody was walking around with Samsungs and clamshells. It was a different time. It was a different time. So there's this guy, and his name is Hennig Brand. As far as I can tell, he had 2 last names.
Yes.
Johnson Smith. Hennig Brand. He was born in 1630 in Hamburg. So I'm assuming that he, was listening to the Beatles.
I would think he would have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was an apprentice
before they got good.
Yeah. He was an apprentice glassmaker when he was younger, but then he left the world of bong making, I guess, to go into the army. So he was a junior army officer in, I don't know, the 40-year Baguette War or something like that. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the war was. But I like the term junior army officer because it sounds like they're just all short guys, We represent German army, the German army. You know what that reminds me of too? I was obsessed with a series of toys when I was younger. Toys growing up, they were called Army Ants.
Army Ants?
Yeah, it was the late 80s, and they were 2 warring teams of ants. There were orange ants and they were blue ants, and both sides had like 40 different types of figures. There were paratroopers that came with little parachutes, and they were like gunners and snipers and guys with walkie-talkies. They were literally army ants. They came in like
That's
packs of
kind of
4
cute.
and 8. I had so many of those stupid army ants. I was a sucker for collecting massive amounts of things.
Yeah.
When I was younger. That's it. There was also mussels, which stood for millions of unusual small creatures lurking everywhere. And I had so many of those. I still have them occasionally. I'll just be cleaning the house and, oh, look, I found a mussel from 1986. So anyway, Hennig Brand, after the war, his social standing was up a little bit,
Yeah.
War does that to people. Just watch Act 1 of Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Basically the main plot of Act 1 of Hamilton. So Hennig Brand, after the war, ends up marrying way above his standing this rich woman from a rich family, a huge-ass dowry. Suddenly, Hennig Brand is a rich-ass motherfucker.
Okay.
He got a crap ton of money. But here's the crazy part. Shortly after that, Hennig Brand's wife dies unexpectedly.
Mm-hmm.
So Hennig Brand has all of this money, and he's like, what am I going to do now? I know. And he ends up marrying an even richer woman. So now this dude, Hennig Brand, is like double super rich.
Yeah.
So he's sitting on all of this money, and he's wondering, what am I going to do with all of this freaking money? Well, I get what do like middle-aged men do when they suddenly have a massive amount of money? Well, I guess I'll go buy a Harley Davidson and start a ridiculously huge LP collection. Oh snap, those don't exist yet. Well, damn, what am I going to do with all this money? Well, I guess I'll just get into alchemy then. So again, it's like the 1660s. I'm assuming alchemy was like
in
golf.
Yeah.
What should I do with all my free time and money? Well, I could go golf, but that hasn't been invented yet. I know. I'll try and turn things into gold.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what you do with your free time then. So it's the 1660s. Alchemy was very in back then. Chic. It was the hip thing to do.
Which
it was
just reminds me really quickly, okay?
Yeah.
We have all, at one time or another, tried to see if we had the Force.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Everybody.
And you remember how, whatever object you were trying to move or whatever, remember how hard you would stare at it and concentrate?
Oh. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So even if you had the Force or you had some psychic powers, It's still easier to just get up and get the fucking thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to interject with that.
No, it's okay. So alchemy is basically science via magic. So, what are you alchemizing today, Ernestine? oh, nothing much. Just working on a magic powder that makes people immortal.
Isaac Newton was an alchemist.
Yeah. How about you, Ulysses? Well, I'm working on creating a glowing metal that cures syphilis. Science! And so a lot of this alchemy was dedicated to the belief that it was possible to turn anything into gold.
Yeah.
So Hennig Brand became obsessed with this. He was obsessed with trying to get things and turn them into gold. And he had this massive lab in his basement.
Yeah.
This massive basement. He got a lab. He hired his stepson to be his lab assistant.
Jared.
And he was like, and he was just convinced that he could find the Philosopher's Stone, the like mythical thing that will just turn blank into gold. So he's like, so Hennig Brand is just obsessed with this. I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to put my enormous wealth towards turning things into gold. Let me use my first class scientific knowledge to figure this out. What can I turn into gold? Well, first off, you know what would make this easy? Whatever I get to turn into gold, it should probably be gold already.
That is genius.
Yeah. Yeah. So I need a large amount of something gold colored.
Uh-huh.
That I can use my sciencey alchemy stuff to turn into gold. But what? What thing out there is gold colored and freely available that I could turn into gold? Think. I know. I got it.
Okay.
I need piss.
Okay.
So Hennig Brand became convinced that he could turn urine into gold. And like his people were like, okay, Hennig Brand, you're kind of fucking insane. Like there's no way that this will work. But the way that Hennig Brand figured that he would succeed where others have failed was, see, the reason why other people failed at turning urine into gold was because those people were using too little piss. And Hennig Brand wasn't going to go down like that.
Yeah.
So we built this giant lab. He got his assistant, which was his stepson, and this is basically cruel and unusual punishment. And he put out the call. People of Germany, for scientific purposes, I need to get your pee. Purely science. I need everyone's piss. So this guy, Hennig Brand, he goes out and he's collecting pee in jars and keeping them in his massive basement laboratory. Imagine, if you will, what his lab smelled like.
And it's a shame that Gatorade bottles were not yet invented either.
Right? Thousands of jars of urine being kept months on end. He would get pee from like taverns and bars, so beer drinkers. And you know that beer pee is different than like regular pee, so it's all like frothy.
Yes.
He's got like frothy beer pee. He's going to schools and he's getting urine from these different schools. And one account in history says that he managed to get just a crap ton of jars of pee from the local monastery.
Okay.
Holy priest urine Batman was a very weird episode of Adam West's Batman.
Yes.
That was the one episode that they never showed on air.
No, but it's probably online. We would have to look.
Yeah, it's gotta be online. Holy priest urine Batman. I personally feel that you could probably do something cool with like 50 jars of a priest's urine. I'm not sure what, but you could probably do something cool.
It's worth a Google.
Yeah, it's worth a Google. What can you do with 50 jars of priest's urine?
Yes.
And search? Oh, look at that. The FBI is knocking. Open up, Esteban.
Oh God, yes, they would definitely refer to you as Esteban.
Yep. So how serious was Hennig Brand about his urine collecting? Well, accounts from the time say that he stored roughly 1,500 gallons of urine.
Gallons.
Not 1,500 jars of urine. 1,500 gallons of pee. But that's not it's so alchemy. Dude's trying to turn this pee, 1,500 gallons of pee, into gold. How? By cooking it.
By cooking it in the pee?
No, by cooking the pee.
Oh, by cooking the pee.
Imagine again, if you will, the smell of cooking and boiling 1,500 gallons of old urine.
Yeah.
What did that lab smell like? What did the whole house smell like? Because you can't keep that smell in the basement in the 1660s. You can't keep that smell in the basement now. What did that smell like? Now, in my mind...
Even the asparagus said, we're out of here.
Yeah. In my mind, I hearken back to the Arizona State Fair.
Okay.
There were porta potties, and those weren't that bad. Then there were some indoor urinals, like in the county exhibits and places where the bathrooms weren't that bad. But if you were over by the tiny stadium where they did like the monster truck stuff and the demolition derbies, all of those bathrooms were those trough bathrooms.
Oh, yes.
Where it's just a trough on the wall and you're peeing there literally elbow to elbow with like 6 other drunk dudes.
Yeah.
I imagine that smell times 1,000 is the type of smell we're talking about here.
Uh-huh.
Like, what the fuck? So this is how it happened. So he's cooking strangers' urine.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do.
Yeah.
So he's heating up. So he's not getting anywhere with it. So he's trying to do different sort of things. He notices that when he has removed the urine from the jar, that there's this like slimy residue that's left behind. Especially like you've got a boiling piss on a furnace. And there's this like residue that's left over. So he starts experimenting with the leftover residue from boiling a jar of urine for like 5 days. And he's like, what is this strange residue? What does it do? It doesn't do anything. Is this gold? I don't know. Maybe if I light it on fire. Suddenly there's a huge fire in the lab. Suddenly the jar that he was using is full of glowing fumes.
Okay.
And a glowing white hot liquid drips out of the jar and it just bursts the lab into flames. So our boy, the urine scientist, what he does is he catches this glowing liquid in a jar and he notices that now the jar is glowing this bright green light.
Okay, cool.
Oh, shit, I did something. I don't know what the hell I did because it's the 1660s, but I sure shit did something. Mm-hmm. Suddenly I've got this like glowing green magical thing in this jar. I don't know what the hell I just did, but I do know this. My glowing magic urine jars and I are going on tour. So he travels all over the place with his magical glowing pea, and people love it. They're going fucking ape shit. They've never seen anything like this before. Suddenly, this alchemist shows up with these giant neon glowing green jars, and they're like, "Oh my god, I've never seen anything like that. Wow, how did you make that? What's the recipe? How did you make that?" And Hennig Brand is like, "Oh, it's, you know what? That's not important right now. Trade secret. I'm not going to tell you how I got these magical glowing jars. Also, don't smell them. But what matters is I totes created this brand new thing. It's an element. I call it glowing piss juice. No, that's not good. How about piss ants? No, but that's closer. Phosphorus.
Phosphorus, okay.
This strange, rich, alchemist, golden shower German motherfucker discovered a freaking element by cooking the urine of priests. And that is a fact. How batshit crazy is that, right?
That is pretty batshit crazy.
That's some crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's some crazy stuff. Oh, I need to go pee. Here, let me save it in this jar and start cooking it in the hopes of turning it into gold. And that's a true story. That's a true story. A much cleaner version of that can be heard on NPR, National Public Radio.
I knew it couldn't be, but I was still hoping it would be uranium.
Oh no, that would have been great. That would have been great.
Yeah.
And that is it for Steve's historical approximations this week. What did we do this time last week? Ha 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 ha! Shut the fuck up. Join us next week for more historically accurate inaccuracy with yet another installment of Steve's historical approximations. Next week, we're going to be talking about the importance of Pac-Man fever.
Yes.
There's a story to this that breaks my heart. Honestly, I've got a heartbreaking story regarding Pac-Man fever. That's what we're going to be talking about next week. So cut on that. You sure enjoy this week for more Steve approximations.
I do hope that it contains the information that Pac-Man was originally Puck-Man.
I will add that. I will add that to the story.
Yeah.
I'm big. I'm just a real big Scott Pilgrim fan.
That movie really grows on you.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I've got a picture somewhere, but Emerald asked to like do something. I don't remember what. Like she wanted to go out or she wanted to use my computer or something, and I said, every once in a while, I will allow the kids to do something they want to do, but only if they do something.
Uh-huh.
So, like, Emerald wanted to do something, and I said, yes, all you have to do is just draw a picture from Scott Pilgrim.
What? I'm sorry.
It's okay. I told Emerald, like, you can do the thing you want to do. You just have to draw a scene from Scott Pilgrim for me.
Okay.
That's all you have to do. And she said no, and she said no, and she said no, and then there was silence, and then she said, okay, this came out pretty good. It's just a picture of the back of Scott Pilgrim sitting down on the floor with his legs crossed, waiting for the package in front of the door.
Yeah.
And it's just such a simple drawing because it's just a guy sitting in front of a door. But if you know Scott Pilgrim, it's a beautiful fucking picture.
Mm-hmm.
You know? She did a really good job. It's a really good picture. I'll have to track it down because I love that. I love that so much. But that's next week. Be sure and join us next week for more Steve's Historical Approximations with jazz hands. Yeah. And cut. Hey, Bunny, guess what?
What?
No, you have to guess. You have to actually guess.
Yes. Car 54, where are you?
No, Bunny, don't be silly. Not on a Friday. I mean, sure, I'd be okay with Car 54, Where Are You, back when we were taping this show on Thursday, but now it's Friday. It's near the weekend. This show is more easy breezy, beautiful cover girl Friday, getting down on Friday. Sort of a vibe here on the old Pope on Film podcast.
Yes.
So just loosen up your necktie, put on some flip-flops and patchouli and a puka shell necklace and just chill, brah. Put on some Dave Matthews Band, smoke a bowl, and just mellow out, bro, because it's a brand new Pope on Film podcast. One that isn't held down by corporate regulations. Guess what? I don't have to sell you a fucking membership card.
Right.
I don't need to get your goddamn email address. And I certainly don't have to be nice to you. So, hey, hi, hello, and fuck you, because it's homework time yet again on the old Pope on Film podcast.
Yes.
People of the internet, your attention, please. Cease your memeing and your NRA shaming and kindly pay attention for just a moment. Then you can go back to NRA shaming, because that is an important thing.
Yes.
Each week, the dreaded Council of Diennas chooses a homework assignment via the fiery ritual of carousel. A homework assignment that has been painstakingly chosen with the expressed intent of bettering our listeners, nay, all good and righteous individuals everywhere. But not you, Jeff Sessions.
Yeah.
Racist, sexist, gay-bashing, Keebler elf, Davy, and Goliath motherfucker. Screw you and the hole you crawled out of, guy. Guy looks like a redneck golem.
He does. He really does.
Well, I would like to keep this ring because it's my precious. It's my redneck golem. That's my southern golem. And this week we are catching up on some old news by discussing a Vulture interview entitled In Conversation.
Yeah.
Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones. I haven't even really heard very much about Quincy Jones lately.
I'm pretty sure I heard this interview mentioned on every nightly talk show.
Yeah?
Yeah. I definitely heard it on Colbert, and I think I heard them mention it in passing on Seth Meyers.
Yeah.
Not sure about what's his name? The Tonight Show, because I hardly watch that at all anymore.
I'm not sure which one the Tonight Show is anymore. Kirby, stop.
So, yeah, Kirby. Calm your ass down, Kirby. Jeez. So Quincy Jones is a legend.
Yes.
He was nominated for 79 Grammys in his 6-decade career, not including the Grammy Legend Award they gave him in 1991. He was the first Black person to be nominated for Best Original Song in the Oscars. He has worked with a massive list of people, including but not limited to Michael Jackson, Ray Charles, freaking Aaliyah before she died.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra, Van Halen, Dean Martin, Will Smith, and more. And his deft, sharp producer's ear was responsible for Michael Jackson's Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad, as well as We Are the World. So if you're still confused as to why Dan fucking Aykroyd was there, you need to ask Quincy Jones. He's an amazing guy, but the thing that I love the most about him is the fact that he married a woman and had sex with that woman, and that woman gave birth to actress Rashida Jones, who played Ann Perkins on NBC's Parks and Recreation.
Okay.
Huge fan of Parks and Recreation.
Yes.
And of course, probably if you're talking Quincy Jones, there's one thing that he is known for more than anything else he's done, And I'm not talking about palling around with Frank Sinatra in Vegas. I'm not talking about producing Michael Jackson's most successful music. I'm not even talking about giving birth to Ann Perkins from Parks and Rec. He's most well known for playing himself in the Academy Award-winning film Sandy Wexler.
Yes.
And I'm sorry to once again bring up this movie.
It hurts every time.
I'm sorry.
Every time I lose a little bit more of my soul.
But let me tell you, Bunny, this is what I want you to do. When we're done with this episode, I want you to go back to your house. I want you to put on the costume, the mouse ears, the bird costume.
Yeah.
Because I want you to remember where you came from. That's not a perfect reference, but I might be the only person who's trying to reference Adam Sandler's Sandy Wexler movie, and I get points for that.
I would definitely award those points. Yeah.
The man is also
it's bold. It's bold.
Yeah, it's bold. The man, Quincy Jones, is also 84 years old now, about to turn 85, and as a result, he is firmly in I don't give a fuck mode.
Oh God, yeah.
And that's
definitely was.
That's what makes this interview so goddamn good. Because in a recent interview with Vulture.com, Vulture magazine, is it a magazine?
I don't know.
I guess just in a recent interview with Vulture, Quincy Jones speaks with honesty you usually don't see in a place that's not coming from Jennifer Lawrence's mouth.
Okay.
Like, seriously, in the first paragraph, he's like, Michael Jackson stole his music. Like, dude, I know you're about to be 85, but haven't you heard no one is allowed to make fun of Michael Jackson anymore?
Yeah.
We all hated him, and then he died, and now he's a saint. Like, no one is allowed to make fun of fucking Michael Jackson anymore. So basically, here are the Cliff Notes version of Quincy Jones's Vulture interview.
Yes.
Okay. Michael Jackson was a musical thief, and he got a ton of plastic surgery because his dad abused him. And also, Michael Jackson got addicted to anesthesia medication, which basically means, and Michael Jackson is addicted to the knife. Addicted to the knife? And addicted to the knife, he needs a little help with the agony. Really proud of that. Really proud of that. And that's like paragraph 1 of the interview.
Yeah.
Like, really, like the crazy shit comes like fast and furious. Also, Quincy Jones believes in astrology.
Yeah.
And he's BFFs with the Clinton family. And he knows for a fact that...
I don't know. I don't know if Quincy Jones actually believes in astrology. It just seems like that is one of the things he pulls out of his ass when he wants to change the subject.
That's a good point.
It's like he had a stream of things all set up that as soon as they got to something that he didn't want to talk about, it's like, where are you from?
And of course, you would say that, Bunny, since you're a Pisces.
Yes.
Or are you? I don't really know. I don't know anything about astrology.
I am a Libra.
Okay. I was an Aries.
But I identify as a neo-max zoom dweeby.
I used to be an Aries, but then I had my astrological sign legally changed. So now I'm a bucket.
Now you're a bucket?
Yeah, now I'm a bucket. The crazy thing is that whenever anyone brings up astrology, I say that, and the majority of people don't question it. They just take it for a fact. And they just leave me alone. It's amazing. I pulled out that fact like a week ago to like Emerald and Deanna, and nobody said anything. Question that? I just said I'm a bucket. You know what? Whatever. So, yeah, basically, like when you bring the crazy as much as I do, there's only so much that you can tolerate.
Yeah.
So Quincy Jones is BFFs with the Clintons, and he knows for a fact that mobster Sam Giancana killed Kennedy. And
Yes.
it's like 5 minutes.
And I had a little bit of doubt on that. I don't think he knows. Come on, Quincy.
No, he knows for a
Bullshit.
fact who killed Kennedy.
That's what he says.
And it's like 5 minutes into the interview. Like, seriously, pace yourself, Quince. Hi, how you doing? I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to do this interview with Vulture. I'm a big fan of Vulture. So, give me your first question. Okay, my first question is, after your years of production, Michael Jackson was a thief and a rapist, and I know who killed Kennedy. It's like, Jesus, slow your roll, Quince. So a large portion of the press that this interview got was, they mentioned Ivanka and they mentioned Kennedy, but the majority of the press that I saw came from the fact that Quincy Jones fucking hates the Beatles. So fucking much. He literally calls them no music playing motherfuckers. But to be fair, in Quincy Jones's defense, like he literally goes off for a whole paragraph of how shitty the fucking Beatles were. But to be fair, in Quincy Jones's defense, if I was one of the few people on the planet who knew who killed Kennedy, then maybe Octopus's Garden would fucking annoy me too. Come in! Also, apparently, the co-founder of Microsoft, Mr. Paul Allen, is as talented as fucking Hendrix on the guitar.
And that came from Quincy. You gotta believe it. You just got to believe that.
Yeah, I have a hard time coming to the belief of that. But to be fair, he mentions like 2 or 3 times in the interview of Quincy Jones hanging out on a yacht in the ocean with a bunch of other rich folks, and they're just like jamming on guitars and fucking around. So just being on a yacht with a bunch of rich folk, keep that in your back pocket or maybe your front breast pocket, because I'll be pulling that out later in regards to Steve Garvey.
Okay. Steve Garvey. I've lost track of
yes. Steve Garvey, the baseball player. Yes.
Okay.
I have something amazingly excited lined up. It's interesting though. Quincy Jones is all, I know who killed Kennedy, and I can go into great detail about it. But then the interviewee brings up Bill Cosby, and Quincy Jones is all, we shouldn't be talking about this in public.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm like, excuse me? So Kennedy's assassination, no problem. Michael Jackson's chemical dependency and abuse and his stealing music, no problem. Bill Cosby, shh. You shouldn't talk about this here.
Mm-hmm.
Meet me at this parking garage at midnight. Then fucking Trump.
Oh, wait a second, because probably, where did Bill Cosby learn it?
Yeah, right?
Think about it.
Then fucking Trump comes up and, oh, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
This is the part that I had a hard time believing. Quincy Jones, 84 years old, then says in the interview that 12 years ago, he dated Ivanka Trump.
Yes.
I call bullshit on that. She is 36 right now. So 12 years, she would have been 24, and Quincy Jones would have been a young, spry 75-year-old man.
Yeah.
No, we're talking Ivanka. No.
So am I.
Anyway, I don't fully believe that Quincy Jones dated Ivanka Trump, but I do believe him when he says that Donald Trump is limited mentally.
Yes.
Okay. Still, you lost me, Quincy Jones. Like, I believe you that Donald Trump is limited mentally, but you're going to have to, like, win me back. Then Quincy gets back to reality with a rant about how U2 sucks now.
Yes.
Thank you, Quincy. I'm back in the game. Then he disses rap as being repetitive and goes deep into musical theory, and that's when I started yawning.
Yeah.
And then he mentions a short list of modern musicians doing good music, and then he disses film composers. Like, basically, Quincy Jones is a hater.
Yeah.
Then he casually mentions, this is another thing that got a lot of press in the media. Then he casually mentions, oh yeah, I'm a big fan of musical theory. I really like jazz. I'm a big fan of Coltrane. And also, apropos of nothing, did you know that Marlon Brando used to fuck Richard Pryor?
Yes.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? Richard Pryor and a couple of other people too.
Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
And then some famous author. But yeah, Marlon Brando used to fuck Richard Pryor. Like, what? And I was like, what?
And he was like, bend over.
So then Quincy
Did Bill
Jones...
Cosby tell you that one?
Shh, we can't talk about that in public, Bunny.
Yeah.
Then Quincy Jones apparently had a nervous breakdown after doing the score for The Color Purple. That's good to know. And he hates religion, especially Catholics and T-Pain.
Yeah.
He really hates T-Pain. T-Pain really fucked up his last album. And that's basically it. Quincy Jones is in I don't give a fuck mode, and it's awesome. And he's just like, oh, I don't care anymore. Let me tell you all this shit.
Yeah. It totally was. It totally was.
Quincy Jones doesn't care about you. Quincy Jones doesn't care about what you think about him. Quincy Jones is like, I'm a legend. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm Rick James, bitch. Quincy Jones don't give a fuck. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
I love this man so much. It almost makes me want to rewatch Sandy Wexler, but I don't hate myself that much.
There is a limit. There is a limit. You got to draw that line somewhere.
Right. So anyway, Bunny, what page are you on? And that is it for homework this week. And we honestly and legitimately hope so. We sincerely hope that your eyes, minds, and wounds have all been suitably opened. But don't think you're getting out of here that easily, Buck Chacho. Don't forget next week's homework assignment. And for next week, we're going back to that yacht.
Okay.
With Paul Allen from Microsoft. Quincy Jones mentioned a couple of times hanging out on rich people's yachts. He mentioned it twice in the article, and that reminds me of something. Of someone. Baseball player and insufferable asshole Steve Garvey. The man with the Lego hair. Steve Garvey. Why, you might ask? The answer is simple. In fact, the answer is next week's homework. It's a very short YouTube playlist. It's called TPOF episode 165, Cheap Seats and Steve Garvey.
Nice. Okay.
Growing up, I was vaguely aware of Steve Garvey. I knew what he looked like. I may have been able to point him out on a lineup, and that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Not being a sports person, that's pretty much my relationship or take on Steve Garvey.
Yeah. But, oh my God, the show Cheap Seats on ESPN Classic that no one ever watched, they got so much out of Steve Garvey because he would do these TV specials that were just absolutely unwatchable. So that's next week. We're going to be talking about Randy and Jason Sklar. We're going to be talking about Steve Garvey, and you will know who Michael Floorwax is.
Okay.
My wife knows who Michael Floorwax is. Some of my kids know who Michael Floorwax is. And Bunny, you will know who Michael Floorwax is. Very excited about this.
I am excited about that. I've always wanted to know.
Yeah, so join us next week. We're going to be talking about Cheap Seats. We're going to be talking about Scarborough County, and we're going to be talking about the hilarity of Michael Floorwax, a rising comedian. That is next week. Oh, we're also going to be talking about marlin. We're going to be talking about the billfish catching.
Okay.
And skiing. And Joan River. We're going to be talking about a lot next week. Skiing and billfish catching. That's next week. So be sure and join us next week for more homework with the Pope on Film podcast. And cut. So, Bunny.
Yes.
We still have a lot to talk about this week. We have to talk about Wonder Woman. We have to talk about Roman Reigns. We have to talk about the musical Hamilton some more. We have to talk about
how DC just doesn't get it.
We have to talk about Captain Kirk. We have to talk about Watchmen.
Okay.
Watchmen. I have a secret segment inside of a segment.
Okay.
We have to talk about so much freaking computer generated special effects. And second, I've got a list of the cast of characters, which is just a big freaking yawn.
Yeah, and a lot of those effects weren't really very good at all, man.
Yeah, I've got a good analogy of the special effects in this movie, but we'll get to that. But before we get to any of that, though, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break?
We should take a break.
You know what? You're just so wise. Guys, Bunny. You're just such a wise man. We should. We will be right back with more of the Pope on Film after these commercial messages. Do 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 do. Skeet skeet scat scoot bitly a boop ba doop ba da ba doo wow.
Ask, and it will be given to Bob. Search, and Bob will find. Knock, and the door will be opened for Bob.
I love you, Pockets.
Watch it, Alan. I'm shooting. Oh, good Lord. It's unbelievable. It's horrible. I can't understand the reason for such cruelty. It must have something to do with some obscure sexual rite or with the almost profound respect these primitives have for virginity.
gotta get the film back home, Alex! Think of the film!
And we're back with more Show. Well then, Bunny.
Wait a second. So you mean my Aurora plastic models, which were glow in the dark, was priest pee?
What? Was what?
Yeah, basically.
Priest
that was priest
pee.
pee. That was priest pee.
Huh.
Yeah. The German monks' urine. Yeah. Well then, Bunny, we made it. We made it through another real mixed bag of an episode and finally got to the main event, the main course, the some third thing starting with main. I don't know. Vein, main artery. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, this week, we're doing the biggest DC cinematic motion picture of all time. Essentially, it's DC's The Avengers. But this movie, unfortunately, is not as cut and dry as all that. This week's film brings up more questions than it does answers. For example, this is their first big team-up movie, then why does it feel like the end of the DC cinematic universe? This is supposed to be the first time they're teaming up, and it seems like it's so hard to say goodbye.
Yeah.
To yesterday. I know. Also, why does the CGI look so bad?
Why did it look so bad?
I don't know.
It looked really fucking bad.
It's like I know CGI isn't like ink. You don't need to wait for the CGI to dry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it seems like you should have waited for the CGI to dry.
Yes.
It's like you can see the background rendering in real time, like a Zelda game, or like you're playing Silent Hill for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why does it look so bad? And goddamn it, Wonder Woman, you knew Captain Kirk for like a week and a half, and that was 100 years ago. Get over it. Jesus fucking Christ. And goddamn it, Zack Snyder. Look, we get it. You're really proud of your Watchmen movie, okay? But did you have to make Batman look like he's cosplaying as the fucking Night Owl?
And cosplaying is definitely it. That costume was off. It made him look fat.
Yeah. That was the first thing that Amber. That was the first thing that Amber said when Batman showed up. She said, "Why is he so fat?" And I'm like, "Okay, it's a different sort of Batman than you're used to in the movies. He's older and more world weary. It's The Dark Knight Rises. It's a long story, but basically, his outfit is shit, and he shouldn't look this fat. It's not Fat Man." God damn it. And since when did Arthur Curry become a cast member on fucking Entourage? Hey, what's up, bro? We're gonna go defeat this bad guy. It's gonna be totally hella awesome. Like, shut the fuck up. And also,
which one are you talking about there?
Fucking Aquaman.
Aquaman? Okay.
Yeah.
Because it could have been the Flash as well.
And also,
what made them hire fucking Corky Romano for the Flash?
It took me a while to realize that the guy who played the Flash was the flamboyant gay kid from The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Okay.
It took me a really long time to realize that. Oh my God, that's the same guy? That's the same, like, flamboyantly gay. You're writing a book? Well, then you should call it Slut and the Falcon. Wow, I didn't realize. Okay. You play You play straight nerd really well.
Yeah.
And if you wanted Aquaman to be Roman Reigns, then you should have just fucking hired Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on the freaking Flash, because then this intro will never end.
No,
yes,
we have to. We have to go there. Flash was just Spider-Man.
Yes,
Flash
thank you.
was just Spider-Man,
Peter
played by
Parker's
Corky Romano. But the thing is about this movie for me, I was seeing shit all over this movie. It's like, oh well, I think they grabbed this from here.
Yeah.
And they grabbed this from here. And they grabbed all these kind of random elements and threw them together and thought it was a good movie.
Yeah. It's freaking ridiculous.
This worked really good in Iron Man. Let's do it.
Yeah. It and I love TV's The Flash.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, that's a sore point for me. Yeah. I love that kid.
What are you giving me, Eleanor? You brought me one peanut. Thank you, I think. Is it okay to eat this? Where did you have this peanut? I'm starting to get worried.
Don't eat
Well,
it.
I already ate it.
No.
I vaguely trust her.
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't. She's got shifty eyes.
She does. Eleanor, are you shifty? Are you shifty? Should I trust you, Eleanor? She can't answer because she has a mouthful of peanuts. Yeah. Eleanor, I think you're shifty. Yeah. Oh, you're shaking your head? You are shifty? Okay, good to know. Good to know. Thank you for that. So, okay, let's
try to collect ourselves.
Yes, we are finally getting around to watching the deeply infuriating 2007 superhero team-up film, Justice League.
Yes.
Now, I'm a positive guy. I try to be a positive guy. I try to have a positive spin on things. It's all about the pulse.
Mm-hmm.
Positivity. So before we shit all over this fucking movie, I want to start. I want to start this on a positive note. So here's one thing that I loved.
Okay.
One thing that I absolutely loved waking up this morning and hearing that Weird Al Yankovic has a new polka medley featuring music from the musical Hamilton.
All right.
Yep.
It's called the Hamilton Polka, and it's amazing. The crazy thing is that they worked on this independently of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then eventually
this has absolutely nothing to do with the musical. He was not inspired by the musical. He just decided to do his own musical on Hamilton.
Lin-Manuel is like, hey, Weird Al, I was wondering if you would do a song like a Hamilton song, and Weird Al said, oh, well, that's funny because I was going to get in contact with you to see if I could get the rights because I made a polka medley of your music. And so it just so happened that it's like, okay, great. So we're both going to get what we want. And now you're giving me a cheese puff. Thank you, Eleanor. I'm just going to set it down here, though. Not that I don't trust you, Eleanor. I'm just going to save it for later. Okay. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Yay. Yay. Eleanor did good. Yay. So I loved that. I love Weird Al Yankovic's new Hamilton monologue, polka medley.
Yes.
But to be clear, that has nothing to do with this movie. This movie is shit. But before we get to the stats and really break down this movie, I want to talk about the battle.
Okay.
The battle. This brings me so much joy. Justice League came out in mid-November of 2017.
Yes.
And Thor Ragnarok came out only 2 weeks before Justice League. There was a Thor movie, and then 2 weeks later, and there was Justice League. And oh my God, I was so freaking nervous about that.
Yeah.
We've had this podcast since the end of 2014, and I spent a lot of time on this podcast worrying, freaking the fuck out about this battle. Because the way I saw it was, oh my God, this Thor movie, it's going to be more lighthearted and funny. The guy who's writing and directing it, he did What We Do in the Shadows, and that's such a good movie. And it's coming out right before Justice League, and this is going to be DC's Avengers, and everyone's going to love Justice League, and no one is going to care about Thor, and I'm so upset, and I'm so worried for Thor.
Yeah.
Well, now it's 2018, and let's head on over to Rotten Tomatoes. Thor Ragnarok currently has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is certified fresh.
Yes.
Justice League has a 40%.
Oh.
That brings me so much joy.
Yeah.
So much joy and happiness that Thor won and Justice League lost.
Mm-hmm. They
They're
don't
finally...
They don't know what they're doing. They really don't.
How did they do that? How did they finally make the big budget Justice League movie that everyone has wanted and fucked up so bad? So let me explain how this movie went for me, because I had so much fun watching this shitty movie. So I love this story. So last weekend, I just said, you know what? I got nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just finished doing story time live on my YouTube page. I got nothing else to do until everyone comes over for Supernatural Saturday. Fuck it. I'm going to watch this week's movie. I'm going to watch Justice League right now.
Okay.
But the problem was that I never saw Wonder Woman.
Right.
I'm not sexist. I'm just not interested in the DC cinematic universe.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, I got to watch Wonder Woman. And then after that, I got to watch Justice League. So I had a double feature. I sat down and I watched Wonder Woman. And then immediately after that, I put on Justice League. And it was amazing. I put on Wonder Woman, and Amber was already on the couch. And she looks up, she's like, what are you watching? And I'm like, oh, I'm watching Wonder Woman. She goes, oh, okay. And then next thing you know, Maxwell comes out. What are you watching? Oh, I'm watching a superhero movie. Oh, that's cool. What movie? And I go, Wonder Woman. And he goes, aw. And I go, no, Maxwell. Just because it's a girl superhero doesn't mean you have to be all upset about it. Watch the movie and decide for yourself if it's shit.
Yes.
So Maxwell sits down. Maxwell's watching it. Eventually, Bella comes out and sits down on the couch playing on her DS. But then eventually, she's not playing on her DS. She's just watching Wonder Woman. Eventually, everyone comes out. Emerald's like sitting down. What are you guys watching? Oh, we're watching Wonder Woman. Oh, I never watched this either. And she's sitting down and she's watching it. Eventually, Natasha's in and she's screaming at the TV. The film was a movie magnet.
Yes.
And it's just got the whole freaking family watching this thing. And then most of us watched Justice League as well. I think Natasha was like quickly tapped out. And I don't think Emerald was there for all of it. She was there for most of it. But then Amber hung on, and then Bella hung on. And it was awesome because just the whole family watched this week's movie. The whole family has a say in this movie. And I was really excited about that. It's rare that the whole family gets in on things, you know?
Yeah.
So let's do some stats.
Okay.
Justice League, 2017 movie, written and directed by Mr. Watchmen, Zack Snyder. Fucking Watchmen, though. Fucking Watchmen. I was trying to think of how to describe the Watchmen movie, and I came up with what I think is a pretty damn good analogy.
Okay.
So, Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Warner Brothers was so preoccupied with whether or not they could make a Watchmen movie that they didn't stop to think if they should make a Watchmen movie.
Yes.
It's everyone said, "Oh, this is the greatest graphic novel of all time." Not only that, but Time Magazine listed Watchmen as one of the greatest novels of all time. Period.
Yes.
And this is just like, this is amazing. This is like life changing, and this is a staple of modern fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And so Warner Brothers is, of course, like, oh, we got to make this movie. We got to cash in. We got to cash in on this. And so, like, but what Watchmen stands for is you shouldn't make this into a movie.
Why? I like the movie. I like the movie a lot. I like the book too, and I found them very similar.
Fuck that movie. We'll have to do Watchmen one of these days. Is it still on Netflix?
Was it ever on Netflix?
I think it was on Netflix. I don't know. I'll look into that.
Okay.
So Justice
I have
League.
it. So
okay, well that's something. But is it like the 2 hour and 55-minute version or the special 4 hour version?
It's the special, really fucking long version.
Okay. I really do like the animated sequence that they made for the movie that they ended up not putting in the movie.
It is in my copy, yeah. Black Freighter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking beautiful. So,
and even that was such a fucked up cool story.
Yeah, it was. So Justice League came out in 2017, but when the history of 2017 is written, the main story will not be freaking Justice League. The main story of 2017 will no doubt be freaking Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
The Patty Jenkins directed Batman vs. Superman prequel that gets Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman character from Batman and Superman and spells out her origin story. Now, I watched that movie too for this episode, and surprise, surprise, surprise! It's time for a segment within a segment. It's segmentception.
Yes.
Because even though we already did it, it is time once again for Steve's Unpopular Opinions. And this time around, we discuss the Wonder Woman movie.
Okay.
Emerald, my 16-year-old teenage daughter,
yes,
said it best when she said, and I quote, like 45 minutes into this movie, she turns to me and says, "Wait, is this supposed to be good?"
Yes, it's supposed to be good, and you are supposed to love it.
Yeah. I believe that the film was given leeway because of the gravity of, hey, this is the first female superhero movie, and feminism and Me Too, and it's very important to women and to little girls everywhere to have their own hero on the screen. And because of the film's sociological importance, the movie wasn't properly reviewed.
Yeah.
Like a regular movie would be reviewed.
Well, I can't really say because I haven't seen the movie, you know, but...
Number one, the film is way too fucking long.
Okay.
Number two, like the first half hour is in Wonder Woman's home world and the whole thing is just fucking yawn.
Asgard.
Yeah, basically.
Asgard. In this movie, it was fucking Asgard.
Yeah, basically. Also, the film is almost like 3 hours long, and it doesn't need to be fucking 3 hours long. And then Wonder Woman's home world is just like they're in this hidden island somewhere. But it's kind of fucked up because it's like, here's all of these actresses who are forced to adopt a ridiculous accent only because the woman they hired to be Wonder Woman has a ridiculous accent.
Oh,
it's like if you're making a movie about aliens and the head alien is Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, yeah.
Then all of the scenes in the home world would have all of these actors like that are talking like, we must get the ship ready. Oh, hi, alien. Like trying to do Tommy Wiseau impressions. So it's weird to see like freaking Princess Buttercup from The Princess Bride saying, we must fortify our fortress to be ready for an attack. Like, fuck it. No, Robin Wright. No. And also, it's kind of fucked up to say this, but Wonder Woman is really boring until a man shows up.
Okay.
But it's like all of these women, and they're in this hidden, like, world, and it basically they live in the magical island of they live in the magical world of exposition.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, let me explain our story. Let me tell you what the story of our people. Oh, maybe I should train. Oh, you should train with these people. Let me tell you their story. Oh, one day I hope to grow up to be these people. Yes, those people. Let me tell you their story. And then finally, like Captain Kirk shows up and you go, oh, fucking finally. Is a plot going to happen? Because I've been waiting for like a half hour of watching girls in ridiculously short outfits fight each other with swords. Are things going to happen now? Thank you, Captain Kirk. Then the bad guy is basically Mr. Generic. It's the same with Justice League.
Yeah.
Plus,
in Justice League, it was Loki.
Yeah.
We go over to Asgard. We watch Robin Wright speak weird. And Loki shows up.
Yeah. Loki with a mommy fetish. That was really uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Eventually in Wonder Woman, you just get so sick and tired of Amazon's explaining plots, but like, and the characterization isn't good. And then Emerald is like, wait a second, why they're going into World War II? Why do they now have one of each ethnicity? And I'm like, to be fair, Emerald, that's not a Wonder Woman thing. That's a war movie thing.
Yeah.
They did the same thing in Captain America, basically. But yeah, no, it's a war movie thing. It's a cliche. And I don't know. I thought Wonder Woman would be a little bit better than that, but there's no characterization. And there's an Indian guy and they call him Chief. Oh, the Chief is back. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. But all of these things were just ignored by critics who were just too busy fawning over this massive feminist victory.
Yeah.
So,
and I still do think it is a feminist victory, and I do think that young girls need heroes too.
Yeah. It's an important film for women. It's an important film for young girls to look up to. If anything, it's important to see that, yes, women can also have kind of shitty superhero movies. That's kind of important. But Steve's unpopular opinion, sorry, not sorry, Wonder Woman sucks. So, Justice League, the culmination of 12 DC movies and over 2 decades worth of planning. Oh, wait, that's Marvel.
Yeah.
This is the culmination of 3 movies and a few haphazard years of planning. Basically, I've said this before, it's as if Marvel made Iron Man, then Iron Man 2, and went directly to Avengers without explaining who most of the characters are.
Yeah.
And that's the main difference between the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC Cinematic Universe, is that Marvel's characters are less well known, but they make amazingly fun movies.
Yeah.
Whereas DC has the most well-known superheroes in comic book history, and yet they can't make a good movie out of these fucking things.
No.
And it's so confusing.
And try again.
Yeah.
The answer is no.
They just keep trying, but like no one knew who Groot was.
Mm-hmm.
No one knew who Scott Lang was, or the difference between Scott Lang and Hank Pym. No one knew who Pepper Potts was. No one really cared about Loki or even freaking Dave Bautista.
Mm-hmm.
So weird. Dave Bautista was a WWE wrestler for like a decade. He went by his last name Batista.
Yeah.
And he the WWE champion, and he was like really popular and people liked him. But then people started hating him and people started booing him. They would call him Bootista. So eventually he gave up on the WWE and said, I'm going to be an actor. And everyone's like, oh yeah, right. What are you going to be, like the next Rock? And then he was fucking Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so weird for a wrestling fan to be like, oh man, I hate Batista. Oh shit, he's really good in this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's really weird that like, oh shit, that's like in next month, Dave Bautista and Robert Downey Jr. are going to be in a movie together.
You're kidding.
With Gwyneth Paltrow and Don Cheadle. Yeah, it's called fucking Avengers Infinity Wars.
Oh.
It's just freaking weird.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, Marvel gets unknown characters and makes them famous, and DC does the opposite.
Yeah.
And it's fucking weird.
Does very much the opposite. Because it doesn't look like... It looks like they're looking too hard for a hit. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're looking too hard for it. So they're stealing. So they're stealing whatever they can, because, like, that was cool. That was cool in that movie.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so watching Justice League, in part, I was watching Thor. I was definitely watching Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And then there were just so many scenes that just popped up where I was just like, I've seen this. This looks like it was something from Iron Man or something. You know?
Yeah.
For like a whole lot of other scenes.
It's freaking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the cast of characters for this movie. I was going to break down the plot, but there's very little of that. So here's the cast of characters for this for Justice League. The big bad guy is a character called Deep Purple.
Yes.
No, wait. The bad guy is Great White.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, I'm closer. Steppenwolf. I knew it was one of those. I knew it was like shitty bands. We stopped Def Leppard from destroying the world. So to defeat the bad guy, the Justice League assembles, which includes Night Owl, aka Bruce Wayne. And let me tell you, a lot of things piss me off about this Bruce Wayne. But the thing that pisses me off the most is the first scene you see Batman. Batman is dangling a bad guy from a roof so that the guy will be scared, so that he's using the bad guy's fear as bait in order to have a monster show up. Basically, it's just like the Rick and Jerry episode of Rick and Morty. I just came up with that conclusion. So he fights with the monster. The monster explodes. The bad guy, then the bad guy who, the criminal who he was dangling from the roof shows up and is like, what was that? Some sort of alien? Some sort of alien monster? And right in front of this criminal, Batman says, are you getting this, Alfred? It's like, motherfucker, secret identity, you son of a bitch. Are you picking this up back at the mansion, Alfred, my loyal butler?
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, TMZ would be on that in like an afternoon.
And really, couldn't you just have said you're Batman? Do you really have to throw a sharp knife at the fucking kid?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Bit ridiculous. So then the Night Owl teams up with Wonder Emo, aka Diana Prince. She's sad because she had a ridiculously short quote unquote relationship 100 years ago.
100 million?
Yeah. And I hate how all the other Amazons are forced to adopt Gal Gadot's thick ass accent. Like, sorry.
Ugh.
Sorry, Buttercup. So then
Well,
Night
that's
Owl.
that's okay. That's Brokeback Mountain for me.
Yeah.
Like everybody was screaming about this movie, very much like Wonder Woman. It's like, oh, it's it's so bold and all that, and so it wins an Academy Award, and I'm like, I can't tell a fucking thing that Heath Ledger is saying.
Yeah.
Through this whole movie. It might have been a good movie. I can't tell.
Yeah.
I have no idea what happened.
Yeah. It's freaking ridiculous. Bella.
I do not like that movie.
What, Wonder Woman?
Yes!
You didn't like Wonder Woman?
I didn't like Wonder Woman or the other one.
Justice League?
I just think good. I just like Flash. Everybody else, they're all jerks.
Yeah. So then there's Night Owl, and then there's Wonder Emo. Then, of course, there's Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Which pisses me off, because in this movie, basically, the Flash is Peter Parker. He's the comic relief, and it sucks, because I really like TV's The Flash.
I know. I love first off, they all look like kids to me. I can't help it. So that's
yeah.
And that's like how I relate to the show. It's like, I really like the show. It's a bunch of really cute kids. You know?
Yeah.
They're adorable.
Yeah. But it's ridiculous. Also,
I mean, not that he's not Peter Parker either. But he's much more of your Tobey Maguire Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Which is like great, because we have an opening for one of those.
It's just that you have a Flash already. You have a The Flash. So by not using TV's The Flash, DC is saying, okay, this TV cinematic universe is less than.
Mm-hmm.
That's what DC is saying.
That is how I would interpret it, yes.
Yeah. Hey, guys, this TV show is not important as what we're doing here in the movie. And that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Then, of course, there's Aqua Bro.
Oh, yeah, God. He was really fucking annoying. Why? Really? You're going to do a surfer dude thing through this whole fucking movie?
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't have him. I'm surprised they didn't have him drinking Red Bull while wearing Abercrombie and Fitch and explaining how Inception is so deep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't have him at a McDonald's getting pissed off because they were out of Szechuan sauce.
Yeah.
Might as well make him wear a waterproof MAGA hat. For shit's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's CGI Boy.
Yes.
A black high school teen whose lengthy human backstory was featured heavily in the previews, but not in 1 second of the movie. Like, seriously, the previews show him as a human playing football and him at school and him walking down an alley while wearing his Letterman jacket and all of his face. And then they show him in his accident. And none of that is in this freaking movie.
No.
Fucking none of it. And that's sad because Cyborg is an amazing character, but don't fret. There's still a chance.
Yeah.
because Cyborg is a character in the Teen Titans, and there's a Teen Titans movie coming out this summer.
All right.
And it's going to be animated, and it's going to be horrible, and I'm really excited. There was an animated Teen Titans TV show, and it was on Cartoon Network, and it lasted for like a number of seasons, and it took the Teen Titans seriously, and it had an anime style, and people really loved it, and they had relationships, and they fought, and it was a very serious look at the Teen Titans. Then Comedy Central canceled it and replaced it with a weird, bizarre Powerpuff Girls looking hyperactive version of the Teen Titans for very younger kids. And there are still people out there that are really fucking pissed about this.
Yeah.
But now that crappy Teen Titans cartoon is getting a big budget animated summer movie. And I'm really excited about it because it seems to be an animated sort of parody of other DC Comics movies.
Okay, that could be cool.
Yeah. They're going to be making fun of Batman, making fun of Wonder Woman. And I really like the preview that they have out because they're talking about how excited it's a close-up of Robin talking about how excited finally the DC Comics characters you want to see are on the screen. And then it pans back and all of the other Teen Titans are dressed as Wonder Woman.
Okay.
They're like, what? Why are you guys dressed like that? Because the only character anybody cares about now is Wonder Woman. Yay, Wonder Woman! It's like, wow, usually DC Comics is not as open about this shit.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see Cyborg in a big movie. And then, so there's the Justice League, and they're fighting Deep Purple.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't defeat him. You know what we need? We need Supercorps.
Yes.
Which, I'm sorry, but they do mention a small line in the movie that says that because he's an alien, his body doesn't decompose like a human's does.
Yeah.
Still, you're buried for like a year or two.
Which is so much bullshit. I mean that's, you're still gonna, if you're organic matter, you're gonna decompose just fine, just along with everybody else.
Yeah,
you're not gonna decompose differently.
You were dead and buried in the ground, and now you're alive again, and you're fighting these superheroes, and then you're stopped from fighting these superheroes by Lois Lane, who automatically starts like hugging you and touching your naked chest, and I'm sorry, ew. Ew, that's some gross ass shit.
I'm kind of glad I was not the only one uncomfortable with that.
Yeah. Fucking Supercorps. The only thing I liked about this movie, the only scene that I really, really liked in this movie. Well, no, there's two scenes. Number one, when Batman shows up in the Flash's, the Flash cave.
Yeah.
I paused the movie and I go, guys, you see the like 30 TVs he has in his Flash cave? That TV right there? Yeah. That's season 1, episode 6 of Rick and Morty. It's the episode where Summer gets a job at a Needful Things type store run by the devil. Rick and Morty right there, guys. You see Rick and Morty? And they're like, oh, yeah. The Flash is watching Rick and Morty. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Now we can keep watching this shitty movie. But that wasn't the movie that I liked. You know, the one scene in the movie that I really, really did like is when they're all fighting Supercorps.
Yeah.
And the Flash is running around being all Flashish. And then Superman sees him.
Yeah.
That was the only scene that I really like kind of geeked out at. And I'm like, yeah, because the Supercorps is as fast as Peter Parker's the Flash. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he could see him.
Yeah.
And you see Superman just slowly turn his head and then see the Flash, and the Flash is freaking the fuck out. That was the only scene where like I geeked out a little bit, which is sad because it's a fucking Justice League movie. But anyway, did you see his lips, his fucking face though?
Which one?
Supercorpse.
Supercorpse?
Yeah.
I saw his face. I was trying to not
Did you see how
stare at
fucked up
his
it was?
nipples.
Did you see how fucked up it was?
His face.
Okay, let me explain it to you.
Okay.
Let me explain it to you. Okay, so Zack Snyder made the movie, and then
the beard. The beard.
Yeah, the
thing.
mustache, specifically mustache.
Okay.
A little bit of a beard too, but primarily like a big fat porn stash. So Zack Snyder, he did the movie, and then like his wife was dying or had cancer, or I don't know what the fuck. So they were able to hire Joss Whedon to come in and do reshoots, and he ended up like, oh my god, this movie is kind of shit. I need to kind of Avengers this up. It was him who was like, we need to make this more fun, guys. So he added like a shit ton of pickup scenes to film. And by this time, Henry Caviezel, Hassenpfeffer Incorporated, Supercorpse, he was doing another movie where he had a big fat porn stash. So for a good portion of the scenes that Superman was in this movie, they had to computer generate his face. Specifically, like from the nose down. And it's the most glaring part of this is the first scene where two kids just end up getting like a cell phone interview with Superman. And oh my God, it looks fucking ridiculous. Like the whole time I'm seeing Superman, all I'm doing is staring at his mouth and chin like a weirdo. And sometimes it's like, okay, well, obviously this was filmed before. Okay, obviously this was Zack Snyder, and then the next scene, I'm like, oh my god, this was a Whedon. Oh my god, look at his mouth. That's ridiculous. What the hell? This was a Whedon shot because just look at his mouth. It's fucking insane. Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible to watch. You can literally see like they did such a shitty last second, we got to cover this shit up job.
Yeah.
It's Supercorpse's face. It's amazing.
I would go back and look, but I don't think I could stand it a third time.
Yeah. So there's also included in the cast of characters, let's also not forget that there's also Amy Adams, who stars as, oh shit, she's in these, isn't she?
What? She's in?
Yeah, Amy Adams stars as, oh yeah, she's fucking Lois Lane, isn't she? I forgot.
Yeah.
She existed.
She just does not say Lois Lane to me at all.
Yeah. Yeah, not at all.
Oh, I mean, she's just a little too... I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony.
In my
That's her.
In my mind, though, I don't care what Amy Adams does for the rest of her career. In my mind's eye or whatever, she will always be the slutty one from Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Yeah.
The cheerleader one from the beauty pageant. That will always be her. I got second runner up. I got second place. No, third. What? That was her. I will always love her.
Was she the one with the puppet Jesus?
No, that was Denise Richards. She was the one who did the vaguely sexual cheerleading routine for her talent. Yeah, she'll always be that for me. Let's also not forget that Commissioner Gordon was played by J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
And I'm not okay with
lines.
that miscegenation or whatever it's called.
He's breaking down barriers.
I did like the fact that you got to see like a Green Lantern for 3 seconds. I liked that.
Yeah.
Bella was watching the Justice League movie with me, and she's like, "But wait, when are they going to go get Green Lantern?" And I'm like, "He's not fucking in this." They're like, "Why isn't he in this?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking know, but he's not. I guess because Ryan Reynolds is still like a sore spot in their minds."
Yeah.
But I didn't realize I have to go back and watch Green Lantern because apparently the director of What We Do in the Shadows, Taiki Waka Waka, was an actor in that Green Lantern movie.
Oh, okay.
So he was in this DC Comics movie. And I thought I said the story in the Thor Ragnarok episode. So he's in this movie and he knows it's shit. And he hates being in this movie and he's having a hard time sleeping one night before a take. So he just turns on the TV in the hotel and a commercial comes on, an infomercial, and he says, "Okay, this is going to be one of those nights. I'm buying everything the TV tells me to." So he ended up buying all of this crap. He's got like 10 ShamWows and he's got this and that. And he also has a shake weight.
Okay.
And he brings it to the set and he's using this fucking shake weight and he's just shaking the shake weight in between takes and shit. And other people, Ryan Reynolds, "Why do you have a shake weight?" "Oh, I bought it a few nights ago. I couldn't sleep." "Oh, cool. Can I try it?" And everybody's doing the shake weight. And so he had this shake weight on the set. And that is the same shake weight that is used in the opening of Thor Ragnarok.
Uh-huh. Okay.
When, what's his name?
I was wondering if that's where we were going.
Yeah. Yeah. So he bought that on the set of a DC Comics movie and he used it in a Marvel movie. I'm not sure what that has to do with there not being a Green Lantern in this, but technically there were Green Lanterns in it, but not the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
So that's fucking Justice League. But it's important to note something. If you saw this Justice League movie and you're like, "Oh, that's kind of disappointing," there is another. Let's not forget that in 2011, DC Comics, after their Flashpoint multi-comic book story arc, DC Comics reset everything, and it was a big deal, and they called it the New 52.
Yes.
And they reset Batman, they reset Superman, and they reset the Justice League, and it was a really great, amazing story. It was so good, they turned that into a feature-length animated movie, and it's fucking good. It was on Netflix.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the cartoon, yeah.
Yeah.
Barry
it's
trying
really
to
good.
save his mother, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, so there is an animated Justice League movie out there. It's good, and I dare say it's a better Justice League movie than this Justice League movie. And there were some things in that story arc that this Justice League movie straight stole
from Flashpoint?
No, from the Justice League reboot in the New 52 that happened right after Flashpoint. That was that one Justice League animated movie where like there's some cussing in it and some actual violence and like I think you said in the podcast you were surprised because you're watching this Justice League animated movie and suddenly Cyborg says, "Ah, shit."
Yeah.
And you're like, "What am I watching?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, the DC cinematic universe is shit, but the DC animated cinematic universe, it's all direct to DVD and it's all fucking great." They're all really, really good. And their Justice League movie is better than the Justice League film. Yeah. But I will say that the plot line is weird because like, oh, here's Superman and Superman is teaming up with Green Lantern to find out what these monsters are that are destroying everything. And they decide that, oh, well, these characters are aliens. Maybe we need to find an alien. Let's go to Metropolis and find this superheroic alien that everyone's talking about. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman is eating ice cream for the first time.
Yeah.
and saying, "I like ice cream." And I'm like, okay, that seems vaguely sexist, but you know what? I'm not gonna call sexism because like I'm a dude, and it just seems a bit weird that everyone's having these superheroic adventures and fucking Wonder Woman's eating ice cream and saying that it's awesome.
Yeah.
But then I freaked out when I was watching Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman is going to London and is meeting with the like British front, and on her way she sees someone selling ice cream and eats ice cream, and she's like, "This is good. You should be proud of this." And I'm like, "Ah, shit, that's from Justice League." She's eating ice cream. They put the ice cream in it. That's really weird. But anyway, that's all I've got.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything much else for me to say. It was kind of derivative crap.
Yeah. I expected a lot more for this is Justice League. It should have been a much bigger deal.
Yeah. So if anybody has not seen this movie, don't worry about it, because you have. You really have seen this.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But I am feeling a little bit better, Bunny.
Good.
I'm feeling a little bit better, feeling a little bit more spring in my step, feeling a little bit more confident about the future. But still, I'm not yet ready to jump into the award winners and serious dramas and all that sort of crap. I still need some easy winners.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize until about 10 minutes before the podcast what we were going to be doing for the next episode of the podcast. First off, I have the next 2 weeks planned.
Okay.
2 weeks from today, we will be discussing the Disney Pixar film WALL-E, and Natasha will be sitting in.
Okay.
Because Natasha has a ridiculous fucking amount to say about the movie WALL-E.
Really?
It is. Yeah, it is actually kind of a scary film. If you haven't seen it before, it's basically like a horror sci-fi film, but for like 8-year-olds. It's kind of fucked up.
I have seen it, yes.
Yeah. It doesn't take too much digging to realize that there's a lot of secret hidden shit that they're not telling anyone about this universe.
Yeah.
So that's 2 weeks from now. Next week.
Oh, that's 2 weeks from now. Okay.
That's 2 weeks from now. Next week, I'm very excited. Check the cough cough. Also, it's available for free in a lot of places. I actually found a copy of this movie on Pornhub.
Okay.
Which is remarkable because there's no porn in it, but that's just Pornhub. Mm-hmm. Next week, Death Race 2000.
Okay.
The fucking original.
Did you send me a trailer for that or something? I saw a Death Race 2000 video like really recently.
I did post a copy of it on the Cough Cough.
Oh, okay, that might have been it.
Yeah. The original, fucking Sylvester Stallone and all of that shit.
Okay. We have not done that before?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We're going back to the well. Roger fucking Corman.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm excited to. I'm going to try and see if I can get Natasha to watch it because she's never watched Death Race 2000. She doesn't know what the fuck it's about.
Yeah.
I think I could really like get her into this. Hey, you want to watch this movie? What's it about? It's about people running over people, and it's a sport.
Yes.
And it's really gory and stupid. I think I could really get her to like this film.
Is that other one still on Netflix? I mean, that if that's still on Netflix, we haven't done a double feature in a while.
I don't know if it's on Netflix, and I don't have it on my. I don't have Netflix on my phone right now to check.
Yeah.
But I definitely would have time for a double feature if it's still on there. I don't know if it's still on there.
I do not know if it's still on there.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
I mean, if it is on there, then fuck, let's do it. If it's not on there, then watch the original.
Yeah. Let's see. Because the other one wasn't bad.
Yeah. It wasn't good either.
It wasn't quite the original. Well, it wasn't good either. That goes for the first one as well.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I believe it's still on Netflix. I'm just not sure.
It's kind of like, you know what? Nice try, movie. You know, nice try.
Yeah.
That's what that one is like.
You mean the newer one? Death Race 2050.
Yeah.
That was the newer one. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix.
I am checking right now. Of course, there's always the Jason Statham one.
I never bothered to watch that one.
Me either.
It's just I don't like it when someone gets like a gritty B movie and says we're gonna make this into a serious movie.
Yeah.
It's like I don't trust them.
It's like Death Race. That's not what I'm watching. Yes, Death Race 2050. It is still on Netflix.
Oh well, then fuck it. Let's do a double feature.
Okay.
Next week we're doing a double feature: Death Race 2000 and Death Race 2050. Hell yeah! It's been a while since we've done a double feature. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Hell
Not
yeah!
In a really long time.
Yeah, long ass time.
So we owe it. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our fans.
We do. Sweet. So that is next week. Next week, Death Race 2000 and Death Race 2050. We're also going to be talking about Pac-Man Fever and Steve Garvey. So excited to be so excited to be introducing a whole group of people to the wackiness of Michael or Wax. So that's next week. But now that we're here finally at the end of this episode and I'm looking out at the precipice, I stand on the precipice of the end of this episode, looking back at all that we have done. Malcolm McDowell freaks me out.
He always has, yeah.
Even when he was younger, there's just something that just doesn't sit well with me in this man. I don't trust him.
He's always just struck me as an asshole.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
Oh yeah. Big time.
Almost like I'm British and I am better than you.
That'll be fun. I gotta say though, looking back at this episode, now that we're here again, crazy. Maybe I'm telling tales out of school. I think this has been a pretty good episode.
I think this has been a damn good episode.
This episode got a damn, guys.
Yeah.
You gave it a damn, so you know this was a good one.
So until next week, I am Bunny Williams.
And I am Reverend Steve saying thanks for listening. And on behalf of Maxwell and Eleanor and Natasha and all the rest here at the Galindo household, I just want to say thanks for listening. And we will see you next week, you godless heathens. Do 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 do. Skeep skeep scap scoop skip. Yeah, doop. Ba-doop ba-dop ba-doo wow. Cut and print.
Cut and print.
Damn good episode.
Yeah. That was fun. It's always good to rip up a DC movie.
Yeah, it is. And one day we should do Wonder Woman just because I it's not that good.
Yeah.
It's not a good movie. Like, it was surprising because, oh my God, the reviews. Oh my God, this is such a amazing, important film. Yeah, but it's not a good film.
Yeah.
It is important, but that doesn't mean it's good.
Are you sure you're not being biased by your hatred for DC?
No, I was all excited. I was all excited to watch this film. Finally, I'm going to sit down and watch this film. And is this 3 hours? Really? Jesus Christ. I was sitting through like 5 hours of DC by watching Wonder Woman and Justice League. Like, goddamn, somebody crack a window because I'm getting dizzy from the DC fumes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, dude.
This was good.
This was good. So
thank you.
Good luck with your shows. When's your next show?
I'm doing 3 story times tomorrow.
Ah, awesome.
Tomorrow. I'm going to try and stream one of them.
Yeah.
Live, if possible.
Yeah, that would be good.
Oh, okay.
All right, man. I will talk to you next week.
All righty.
All right. Bye.
Be good. No.
I'll take that as a yes.
What?
The ring.
The world remains in mourning after the death of Superman. Violence, acts of war, and terrorism are all on the rise.
I had a dream. It was the end of the world.
Invasion.
I think it's something more. Something darker.
We're asking people we don't know to risk their lives.
Strong man is strong as alone. You ever heard that? That's not a saying. That's the opposite of what the saying is. Divided. We are not enough. The world needs Superman. I made him a promise. This is why I brought you together. Ride ain't over yet.
My man.
Awesome. As a bat signal, that's your... Oh, sorry. That's your signal. That means we have to go now.
Yeah, that's what that means.
It's so cool.